Hello, and thank you for joining us for this edition of School Notes. I'm Paul Rowe. The new year has begun, and Hampton City Schools is back in full gear with many stories to share with you. Right before we left on winter break, students at Carey Elementary received a very special surprise. The Delta Sigma Theta sorority, Hampton Alumni Chapter, raised funds to give every Carey student a winter coat. That's nearly 400 coats.
Oh, wow. It's been very amazing. They started out with us just asking for a partnership. It had nothing to do with coats. It was just about partnering up with our school to offer benefit to our students. So since we've had them tutor, we've had them come and provide PTA memberships, and now again with the coats. And so it's been a real blessing. They come in, they're smiling around our building, they're loving and caring for our kids, and it's just amazing because it lets our students know that somebody else out of the community really cares for them.
We wanted to provide each student with a coat. We didn't want to come in and single out a certain population. We thought, let's do it for everybody. Every student can use a coat. So that was the goal, to provide a winter coat for each and every student here at the school.
In addition to the coat donation, the sorority has volunteered their time working with students at Carey. As one of our community partners, we're very grateful for all they do. And speaking of community, Hampton Mayor George Wallace and City Manager Mary Bunning visited students at Spratley Gifted Center, hoping to spark their imagination and encourage them to choose a path of public service.
We're going to be talking to some 8th graders who are taking a civics class, and they wanted to know more about the roles of the city manager and the mayor. So the manager and I are here today to discuss that with them and to respond to their inquiries and just give them the general one-on-one version of what local government is all about.
There are various forms of local government all across the country, and it's really important to us that our Hampton students know how their local government works. So we're going to talk a little bit about the role of the mayor, the role of the council, and the role of the city manager, and help them to better understand what we're doing each and every day on their behalf. Interested
in how did I get to where I am, and what process did I ensue to get to where I am, and how do I like it? The route getting here was kind of circuitous, but I love what I'm doing.
This is the first time we're doing it here at the 8th grade level. In the past, we've done elementary programs, and so a lot of times at the elementary level, kids want to know about the police officers and the firefighters, and a lot of questions about how we do those kinds of things that are more visible to them. It'll be interesting to see what our 8th graders ask us about. They are obviously older and more mature. They're starting to study how laws are made, and what's the difference between laws that are done at the federal level and the state level and the local level. So I'll be really interested to hear the things they ask us about. That information is more readily available for them with our internet resources. For instance, at the city, we have much more information available online today than we did 10 years ago. So a student who's interested could certainly find out more about how their government operates. Of course, at this age, some kids are really into science and math, and they may not care as much about government, and other kids are really into history and government, and they'd be more interested. So this is a great age for kids to explore all those different types of subjects and learn about, and we're just glad that we're able to help those kids who want to know more about government.
3rd graders at Bassett Elementary School had the opportunity to interact with animal experts from SeaWorld San Antonio. They learned about animal habitats for the Virginia Standards of Learning curriculum. Teachers use computers to bring penguins and their habitat to the classroom for a virtual field trip.
They're going to actually get to see them in real time. And we're going to be using Adobe Connect so that all the classes get to connect at the same time. And SeaWorld will actually be holding up either an iPad or their computer to the actual penguin exhibit and actually getting to see the penguins in action, and they'll be answering all the questions of the kids. The kids have asked, they've kind of compiled a list of questions they wanted to ask, and so they'll get to ask those questions and they'll get to hear that answer. Because it's one thing to hear about it from your teacher, but it's a completely different thing to see someone who studied this, who's in the job, in the field, and working with the animals every day.
The experience of having the children sit there and look at the penguins in a live format is amazing, because they're not going to have this opportunity again unless they go off and get on a plane, similar to what she was saying earlier today. They normally don't have the opportunity to travel the way that we would like for them to. So having this program come to the school and expose them to the habitat that the penguins are living in is awesome.
Several local churches have partnered to work with Machen Elementary and the Peninsula Food Bank to bring the mobile food pantry to the school. Machen students, families, staff, and bus drivers are eligible to participate in the program that enlists the help of many people from both the school and the community. Food Line lent shopping carts to assist recipients in picking up their food.
The Peninsula Food Bank has a mobile food pantry, and we have had our church has had a partnership with Machen Elementary for a few years now, and last year we started doing some backpacks for the kindergartners through second graders. But one of the things that all the partners wanted was more food for the families. It was such a small amount. We know that these kids are coming in saying they're having trouble learning because they're hungry, they haven't had breakfast. The Peninsula Food Bank brings this food. Our partner churches and community groups put the money towards it, and then they provide the volunteers, as well as the teachers, parents, the PTA is providing volunteers. And we all come together on these days, and they bring about 2 weeks of groceries for about 150 families, and that includes meat, produce, really nutritious foods. And that was one of the things we really wanted. Sometimes when you do these food ministries, you know, all you can afford to do is stuff that isn't as nutritious, and that's such an important part of learning, is having that nutritious food that can get you through the day.
Well, we're here for the USDA packages that we've been blessed with from Machen Elementary. It helps me according to the income that I receive. It's really not enough, so with Machen helping us with these packages, it also helps us to feed us through the month. It's good, and it's also a blessing.
We just have a large population of students that need additional help, and so we try to meet those needs, and one of those needs was food.
I'm aware of the need for many things in our community, food being one of the primary things that people have lack of right now, and I'm just happy to be able to spend a little time this afternoon and help get some of the food that the food bank has available out to the people who need it. I'm very thankful that I have the health and the resources that I can help somebody else who may not have quite the abundance that I have, so I'm glad to be able to do that.
We have an upcoming event to share with juniors attending Hampton City High Schools. The Youth Career Expo at the Hampton Roads Convention Center will be held February 18th. The expo gives students a chance to interact with the local business community. It provides students with an opportunity to learn about the variety of career opportunities in the region and the skills needed to acquire those jobs. Juniors, make sure you talk to your guidance counselor and sign up today. Next, let's take a look at what's happening on our social media sites. On Hampton City Schools' Facebook page, a 5th grade student at Craft Elementary School volunteers for weekly recycling. Davis Middle School Chess Club members spend afternoons in the library with their club sponsor, learning to play chess. The Future Teachers of America Club from Phoenix pre-K through 8 collected canned goods before the winter break. The school collected enough food to help feed 10 families in our community. On Twitter, Spratley Gifted Center's Minecraft Club members learned to make the best of a challenging situation and work together to solve problems caused by a natural disaster. Phoebus High School hosts an on-site admissions night with 25 schools, and many students showed up looking to explore their college options. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to Hampton City Schools' social media pages so you can keep up with all the latest information. And remember, you can watch all of PEG TV's high school sports coverage at any time on YouTube. All the boys and girls basketball games that were covered are now available, so check them out. Make sure you watch them in high definition. PEG TV covers many high school sports games, and this season included basketball and wrestling coverage. Local Sports Channel producer Wube Gabre fills us in on all the action.
This is Wube Gabre with your local sports report. Hampton High School was the scene for the Quad Peninsula District Wrestling Meet, as Hampton High, Bethel, and Phoebus competed on the mat. All three schools did well, with Bethel and Hampton winning 2 meets and Phoebus won. In the 160-pound weight class, Bethel's Thomas Pendleton battles Phoebus's Savage Richardson in a hard-fought match, with Richardson getting the pin. In girls basketball, Bethel has jumped out in front with an undefeated record in Conference 6A, also known as the Monitor Merrimack Conference. The Lady Bruins are led by George Mason commit Alexis Great and fellow junior Naira Williams. Hampton has a very young team, but is still a contender in the Peninsula District and in the Penn South Conference. Dara Pearson leads the Crabbers in scoring, averaging 21 points per game. Kecoughtan and Phoebus are young as well, but both play hard and compete. On the boys' side, all 4 Hampton City schools are young but talented. Both Kecoughtan and Bethel are at the top of the Monitor Merrimack Conference. The Kecoughtan Warriors are led by Marcel Haskett and Damian Nolan. Bethel is led by sophomore Cam Baycoat, who is averaging 17 points per game. Meanwhile, over at Hampton, the Crabbers have been on a roll lately, winning most of their games in the months of December and January. 3 sophomores lead the Crabbers this season, so the future is bright on Queen Street. Phoebus is young as well, but very athletic. Robert Smith and Elijah Nelson lead the way for the Phantoms. Coach Daniel has a lot to look forward to with this group. So go out and support all of your Hampton City Schools athletics. For local sports, I'm Wube Gabre.
Thanks, Wube. Well, that's all for this edition of School Notes. Make sure you share your story ideas with us. We want to share all of your good news with the rest of the Hampton City Schools. And remember, it's every child, every day, whatever it takes. Have a great year, and we'll see you next time on School Notes.